Hello everyone. Welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 19/1/2023. So now let us look at the issues. Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland to vote in February. Guys, elections are going to be held in this year in significantly nine states, guys. So one after the other, as there are certain amount of elections and all. So whenever elections are there, newspaper would become easier for us because most of the issues will be around the elections. So we need not worry about them. Fine. So whenever we come across Tripura, Meghalaya, Nagaland and all, we can leave for a while. Will end BJP misrule, says KCR at BRS meet. See, when we are talking about the political parties changing names, national party, state party, when will you call something to be a national party? Such things are important, that's it. Beyond that, we should not look into these issues, guys. Proposal to reduce age for consumption of liquor to 18 withdrawn, not required. 11-year-old boy SSLC timetable revised in view of Mahavir Jayanti. Bescom proposes non-telescopic tariff structure. Like, all these are not so important, guys. So politics is taking its own role, nothing much. Yeah. Now, guys, if you look at this particular article, admonishments that endanger the constitution. So in this article, they are trying to talk about Keshwananda Bharati case, right? It's like in few days it would be 50 years of the Keshwananda Bharati versus State of Kerala case. And this issue is in news mainly because Vice President of India recently spoke about the collegium system. So we have discussed enough about the collegium system. Again and again, discussing the same aspects doesn't make any sense. Check, do not cross. So here they are trying to say that government should work towards systemic reforms. Government should try to see how to change the courts rather than trying to take over the power of the court. So same issues, guys. Jallikattu should not incentivize risk taking by participants, spectators. So not important, guys. Signals of a slow return to peace in Syria. I want to discuss about this, guys. This is a very important issue, right? So let us understand this. Now, if I say this is your Mediterranean Sea, here you will find Turkey. Here you will find Syria. You will have Iraq. Then you will have Iran. Now, in Syria, we had a leader called as Bashar al-Assad. His political party was called as Baath Party, and he was a supporter of Shia. And Bashar al-Assad was a very good friend of Russia. where he was the only person, or it was the only country which had given, like, port to Russia. So we say in the entire Mediterranean Sea, it was only Syria which was a very good friend of Russia, and there was no other country which was as close as, like, Syria to Russia. Now, when we look at Iraq, we have Shia government today. In Iran, we have Shia government today. So Syria, Iraq, Iran, we have Shias. Fine. Turkey was a very good friend of US, but due to certain issues, internal politics of Turkey and all, they became anti-US, and now slowly they are becoming pro-Russia. Turkey is becoming pro-Russia. Syria is already pro-Russia. Fine. So now Turkey has few enemies. Turkey has few enemies. So if I take this particular part, you have a community called as Kurds, and they want to establish Kurdistan, and their capital which they want to establish is Kirkuk. Kurds, they want to establish Kurdistan, and what they want to establish is Kirkuk. Right? Kirkuk is the capital. Now, Kurds want to take some land from Turkey. They want to take land from Syria, Iraq, Iran, everyone. So I'm talking about three groups, guys. Syria, Bashar al-Assad, Turkey, Kurds. Now, I'll just repeat. Turkey is pro-Russia, fine, but their biggest enemy is Kurds. When I look at Syria, they are pro-Russia. Their biggest enemy is US, Saudi Arabia, and others, because these are all Sunni countries. Now, in Iraq and Syria, some Sunni groups established ISIS, Islamic State, in Iraq and Syria. Fine? They established ISIS. This picture you should have. Now, US wanted to change government in Syria. That means they wanted to remove Assad. When US wants to remove, kill Assad, kill, like, his supporters, US supported Sunnis. Later US supported Kurds. So for US, Saudi Arabia came in support, Israel came in support, and for Syria, Russia came in support. Now Turkey is supporting. Russia is there because Russia wants Syria. Turkey is there because Turkey do not want Kurds. Lot of confusion is there in this particular part of the world. You see here, Russia, Turkey, Syria engagement. So today we observe that the three countries have come together. Which are the three? Russia, Turkey, Syria. You see, who is Turkey's president? Erdogan. After an earlier conversation with Russian president, proposed a re-engagement with Syria, starting with meetings of defense and foreign ministers and culminating with a summit of the three leaders. With Mr. Erdogan facing elections in June, there are domestic considerations in play as well. Please understand the terms. A tough anti-Kurd posture appeals to Turkey's nationalists, while improved relations with Damascus will facilitate the return of 3.7 million Syrian refugees whose presence has caused considerable unhappiness among the general Turkish population. So, guys, when Turkey has good relations with Syria, then Turkey can send back 3.7 million refugees back to Turkey, because of which the people of Turkey will be happy. Anti-Kurd will make Turkey to be seen as a nationalist government. So this is the plan of whom? Turkey. So it wants three countries to come together: Russia, Turkey, Syria. And why is this important? You see, when I look at Ukraine, right? When we look at Ukraine, now if you say this is Turkey, above this I have Black Sea, here I will have Ukraine. So entry and exit to Black Sea is controlled by Turkey. So if Turkey is under Russian control, then Black Sea will also slowly be under Russian control. And in Russia-Ukraine war, if Turkey supports Russia, it's a very big benefit for Russia. So these are all the local implications that Russia is looking at. The futility of underbalancing China. See guys, Happy Mon Jacob, his articles will be good, but his problem is like, mostly he will be telling India to counter China. And in some articles, he says, whatever we do, we should always think about China. Our foreign policy should be China centric. So last time he was telling, like, we should go for China test. So what is China test? We should check, if we do this, will China be happy? If we do this, will China be threatened? So he goes to the extent that, like, be closer with Pakistan to counter China. So your main goal must be to counter China rather than to counter anything else. And recently, when Jaishankar and all were talking with China, he is trying to argue that even engaging with China is not good. Like, why are we weak? We are not clear. Why are we not questioning China? Why are we not capturing the regions of China? So he's telling, like, when China captures, you see here, New Delhi could employ a tit for tat strategy and consider occupying unmanned areas on the Chinese side. So we should capture their areas, and in return, again, they will. You see here, but India must be prepared for similar actions from the Chinese side. So if we attack them and capture, they will attack us and capture. And this process keeps on continuing, which is not good. Correct. So please don't write suggestions from such articles, guys. In international relations, tell something positively. Don't tell, like, India should go and capture POK. Today, POK is in grave danger because of economic crisis. So we should go and capture them. Don't write such things, because I see in the answers, like, when we evaluate the papers of the students, we clearly understand that this is not the way to write answers at all. Next, please. Objectives of SIMI against basic fabric of constitution. See, guys, there is an organization called as a SIMI, Students Islamic Movement of India. Fine. And what does it want? It wants to establish caliphate in India. That means overthrow the constitution and establish Islamic fundamentalism in India, which India is worried about. India don't want that to be established. So India wants that organization to be banned. And this organization has, like, relations in Nepal, Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, right? And they are involved in Jammu Kashmir terrorism. They have contacts with Hizbul Mujahideen, Lashkari Taiba. Like, when you look, even such type of organizations are having contact with SIMI, which is a bigger threat for us. So we should be really careful with respect to this. Kashmir solution lies in constitution, not required. NCM chief claims Jain specified. Yes, it is about the Sammad Shikar. Fine. It is about the Sammad Shikar, which is in news. This I gave you notes on that Sammad Shikar already. Congress MP flays Tejaswi Surya, the MP of BJP. He tried to open Indigo emergency exit window for fun. So he's being criticized for that. Refer LG issue to 7-judge bench. See, guys, LG versus State of Delhi. Right? There is a fight going on. And should we give more powers to the state government, or should center only control more power? See, guys, NCR is a union territory, but it has its own assembly, and that assembly always had fight with the lieutenant governor, mainly because most of the powers, IAS officers, everyone is under the control of LG. But Aam Aadmi Party, which is in power there, is not able to implement anything properly, mainly because LG doesn't listen to them. Governor is different, LG is different. So the Supreme Court is looking after into this issue. So now the government is telling that give it to a larger bench. That means give it to a bench of seven judges and let the seven judge decide whether the power should be transferred to the state government or not. And the center says we must not be, I repeat, we must not be criticized in future that center gave power to a political party like Aam Aadmi Party. So they have their own political issues. Central panel asks Arunachal to review hydropower project. So this is very, very important for us, guys. In Arunachal Pradesh, in upper Siang Valley, Dibang Valley, Indian government is planning to have a very huge hydropower project. But there are environmental concerns. You see here, in its 2014 estimate, the diversion of forest area would mean felling of trees closer to 2,80,000, right? We may have to fell 2,80,000 trees, which is an environmental concern, and there is forestry department and all looking into it. Five Meghalaya MLAs quit. Trinamool is the only alternative. Modi is supreme. Jammu Kashmir parties. Manpreet Singh Badal. Report flags widening learning gaps. The ASER report shows the government schools saw a sharp rise in enrollment for the first time in 16 years. Actually, they were all criticizing recently that in the government schools and mostly schools, the enrollment has reduced mainly because of COVID implications and all. But there is huge gap in the basic reading. The drops in basic reading ability are smaller for class 8, where 69.6% enrolled in government or private schools who could read at least basic text in 2022, falling from 73% in 2018. See guys, during COVID, children were not able to read properly. You know how online system were. So criticizing schools are not fair enough at this point of time. Ukraine's Imran Khan, Sri Lanka tourism. Oil demand has reduced in the world, but it may increase because China is reopening. See, guys, may, economy, may, not important. Even in the exam, guys, when you look at such terms, you must be in a position to tell whether the statement is right or wrong. Fine. Thank you, guys. These are the important issues.